Good morning. Good morning. Happy daily drop-in. It is Friday, October 8th, and we are live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And we're excited to get into a Friday. I have the one and only phenomenal Brad Hughes with me. You know it's Friday, so Brad's here. We have hot coffee, and we are ready to talk shop to really wrap up our conversation that we've had all week about setting boundaries, not having teacher guilt, and really doing what is best for you as you continue every single day to serve students. We will have a good news story, and you know it's going to be a good one because Brad brought it to us. There is a really, really important holiday today that I think, if nothing else, we need to discuss that before we get into our day. So we'll transition here and then go into all that fun. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Daily Drop-In. We are thrilled that you are all joining us bright and early at 7 a.m. Eastern. Brad Hughes. What's up, friend?
Rae, I'm excited to join you again this Friday. And it's been a busy week. It's been a week full of accomplishment and working through setbacks. And just like everybody in education right now, just looking to soothe and reassure people through the stress of what it's like to live and learn and work at schools during a pandemic. It's hard work, it's tough work, and school leaders and school staffs coming together to do all we can to keep each other lifted and afloat. And this works really well with our weekly theme this week, Rae, about healthy boundaries and saying yes to what you are able to say yes to, and saying no thanks, but how can I help to others?
You know, guys, if this is your first time tuning into Daily Drop-In, welcome. We're thrilled you're here. Brad is here every single Friday. However, last Friday was the day, it feels like 5 years ago, but last Friday was the day that you weren't able to join us. We had all these tech issues. So I almost feel like I just want to catch up with you, buddy. How's your few weeks been? What's new? Can you give me obviously we'll get to education talk later, but how are you? It's been ages. I just haven't seen enough of you.
I'm doing really well. I'm excited to be back and broadcasting with you on Friday morning. It's been, yeah, as I was saying, it's been a very full and busy week of school leadership and managing all kinds of things that are coming at everybody in our school setting. But personally, I'm doing well. I mean, I'm uplifted by a fantastic team. We were just sharing on air that after I go off air with you at 8 o'clock, I head into school. I've got a fantastic school team getting the school day underway. And personally, it's been a great week. My daughter was home for supper and a visit last night, and she'll be home with us. Canadian Thanksgiving is coming up this weekend. So Canadian Thanksgiving, and then it's her reading week. So we're going to have lots of family time coming up, which is super restorative, and just love seeing the color change as we shift from summer to autumn. How about you, friend?
Yeah, I love the color change. The fall is so exciting. And Canadian Thanksgiving, can I ask a dumb question? Canadian Thanksgiving, I thought, is October 11th, which is Monday. Is that true, or is it the Sunday?
Yeah, that's correct. And depending on when and how families celebrate, sometimes there'll be gatherings all weekend. Sometimes there'll be a Thanksgiving dinner on a Sunday, holiday Monday. Thanksgiving Monday is a holiday here, and so it's an important milestone in the school year because it hopefully gives our school staffs intentional time to connect with family members. And again, it's super restorative just to spend time with the people that you love and hopefully doing the things that you love, doing what you can to recoup that energy that you've expended into September. And so as we turn the page over Thanksgiving, one of those important school milestones as well.
Ugh, and I have to say, I mean, I know we're going to get into some education chat during our brainstorm bank with good news. We got all this coming up. I want to say good morning to Mike and Nikki and everyone else that's joining us this morning. It's so good to see you. Have you popping in the comments just so we can personally say hello to you. Brad, can I ask some personal questions? I don't know that everybody, I think especially myself, I don't know that I know a lot about your personal life outside of education. I mean, clearly You serve an incredible group of educators. You're an elementary principal. You have a podcast that I think everybody I know subscribes to and loves because it's just so full of goodness and laughter and happy. I love the way that your podcast is structured. You know, I'm a fan. And obviously you're on the Teach Better team. You're a brand new member. I think our newest member that we've brought onto the team. You are phenomenal. You have incredible skills at facilitating and questioning. And anyway, I just love learning from you.
Oh, thanks.
But I don't know about like your personal life. Like you said, your daughter's coming home. Tell me about your daughter. I don't know anything about your kids.
Megan is 19, and my son Ben is 21. Both of them are university students. Ben's in his fourth year. He's a history major specializing in medieval history. And Megan's in her second year. She's decided on psychology as a major. And so both of them go to school here in town in Waterloo, Ontario, University of Waterloo. Megan is in a residence this year. It's her first opportunity to live away from home and to be with a great community of girls on her floor. And kids are doing great. And my wife, Jennifer, is a daycare provider in our home, has been doing that actually since Megan was 1. So for 18 years. And we were married 25 years this last August. And so given that our plans to celebrate at Walt Disney World were put on pause because of the pandemic, we've decided to make this our anniversary year, Rae. So we're going to have a year of 25th anniversary celebrations, hopefully culminating in a visit to Walt Disney World when it's safe to travel again.
Oh my God, I'm such a fan of, because the trip didn't work out, we're making it an anniversary year. That is so telling for your wonderful marriage that you're in. I love that. How wonderful.
Thank you.
And I didn't realize that your children are studying such interesting topics. I think that's so wonderful that they're going into what can I only assume is their passion area that they want to take and impact the world. That's so neat.
Exactly. I mean, Ben aspires to be an educator himself, among other interests, and Megan aspires to be a psychologist in both service industries, both passionate, and both of them are so adept at connecting positively with others and just striving to make a difference to people, and literally one connection at a time. Each of those careers, each of those vocations is just making a difference one person at a time. So yeah, tremendously proud of them. And I'm a happy Brad here in Ontario.
I love it. I have to say, Brad, I'm not trying to pick on you, very early in the morning. Andrea's commenting, good morning. Good to see you, Andrea. I'm not picking on Brad. I don't want hate mail after this, but didn't you leave out a member of the family? Don't you have animals in your house too?
We do. Yeah. We have a 10-year-old Bichon poodle who both delights us and exasperates us. His name is Charlie. So, we've got a family of 5, including a 4-legged friend, Charlie, as well.
There you go. And then you are a workaholic. You're super passionate. Okay, you have a very it sounds like a wonderful, well-rounded life. I love this. I'm taking a little bit of a vacation this weekend. And I was thinking, the vacation I'm going on, I think you and your family would really enjoy. We should have just all gone together because I'm going kind of to the middle of nowhere is what I like to call it. I'm going to go relax in a home that's on a lake and just I'm bringing the dogs with me, meeting up with some family, and I'm turning off my phone for 2 or 3 days. It's going to be wonderful.
It's incredible. And as we touched on, it's those connections with your loved ones that are so important at times when things are so busy. And when we talk about setting boundaries and when we talk about setting guidelines on how you want to live and how you want to be, restoring energy through those connections, like relationships are key. They're both restorative and they're also protective. When you're going through difficult, challenging times like we are in education, your personal connections, loved ones, family members, 4-legged family members, they're all crucial to sustaining you through the tough work and to helping you recover lost energy so you can continue to do the work that you can.
Yes. And it's interesting, Brad, because as we've talked all week about setting boundaries, making sure that you're refreshing and resetting your body and your mind, not only frequently throughout the year, but frequently throughout the week, frequently throughout the day. There's been so many strategies shared. I'm excited to get into all of that with our discussion today to kind of wrap up the conversation and challenge our Teach Better family to consider what they're doing in this space. I do have to say, I am so excited to turn off my phone. I'm so excited to reconnect with family. I haven't seen my parents in a few weeks, and we have a few family friends that are joining us. And like so much so that when I got home last night, I was talking to my dog alone in my apartment, talking to my dog about he doesn't even understand how good his life's going to be in just a few hours. And I think that my dog was so confused. He was like, "Why are you so excited about something? Are you feeding me? Like, what's the thing?" And I'm like, "Dude, you don't even know what's coming to you. Let me tell you."
It's the gift of surprise, even for our four-legged ones. When we say the W word, walk, then Charlie goes nuts, and you can just it's we just love the delight, the delight that that our dog shares with us when getting ready to go for a walk or when a special treat is. And again, those walks, whether they're with your four-legged friends, or maybe you can bring a partner or a friend along too. Time outside, so restorative. Just time in the outdoors and a chance to unplug and just, if you're able to, notice your surroundings and notice what's going on around you, and just be intentionally present in that moment.
I'm so excited for this, Brad. Okay, you've made me even more excited for my vacation
Oh,
coming
that's
up. So
wonderful.
I'll be heading there after work, and this will be a fun weekend. So if you need anything for all of our Teach Better family, I might be hard to reach over the next few days. However, if you're in the Illinois area and you need a vacation as well, call me up and you can meet me over by the lake, and we'll all just have a relaxation, disconnect from the world party. I know a lot of us need that. So we're going to transition here into our good news, Brad, because I'm feeling really wonderful and excited about finishing the day, getting through, getting a lot done, and then heading into my own little mini vacation. So we're going to transition here. Stick with us.
Catch you there.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Daily Drop-In. We are currently live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch at 7 a.m. Eastern. We have a lot in store for you this morning, but I will tell you, I am feeling so good getting to learn about you, Brad. I love learning about not only obviously your expertise in education, but just a little about your personal life. I feel like the Teach Better family loves to blend in, not only fostering relationships as collaborators, educator to educator, but also getting to know each other. I really love that element of our family, is that we really get to know each other on a very human level. So I appreciate you letting me kind of like interview your personal life there for a minute. And yeah, I mean, I'm so excited for my weekend coming up that, I was able to share a little bit. It's so good to see all of you in the comments. Thank you for participating in our show this morning. It's always wonderful to have you tuning in and sharing your ideas. Nikki's talking here about how her dog really gets moving when she says car ride, which is never a bad thing. Andrea is saying that the only thing I didn't celebrate about you that she really feels like needs to be emphasized is your skill for impressions. We didn't even get into that as we were talking earlier.
It is a skill, and it comes back to that gift of surprise. I love, especially surprising our students at school with character voices that are either part of our morning announcements or just activate their interests, like Star Wars or cartoons, that kind of a thing. So yeah, it's a talent I love to share, and so it's again, it's all part of making those connections.
So fun. Well, Brad, obviously every single morning we love to have a good news segment. Every single Friday, you're able to bring some good news stories. I have to tell you, I still, when I think of like, okay, what's the good news story? I still think about how I can't top your mom's story on that Friday that you came in and shared your mom's piece of writing. That was such a fun story. So I love that you're able to do this every day. We typically start with holidays. So do you want to do good news story, or should we go holidays first?
Holidays first, please, because I'm really eager to hear there's a special holiday that you teased earlier. I want to figure out what it is.
It's true. And I intentionally didn't tell you because I wanted an authentic reaction.
Got it.
Here's the deal. I opened up nationaltoday.com, which is always kind of like the spot that we refer to. I also have Rachel's notes in front of me, the Teach Better team. Rachel, we love you. She is preparing a wonderful document every day to make sure that we provide all of our audience the most diverse variety of holidays that we can celebrate every single day. Here's the deal, though, Brad. First of all, the first thing is that it's World Pierogi Day. Always a cool thing. I'm not sure if you've eaten a pierogi before, but
Sure have.
they're delicious, right?
Yep.
I mean, like, I think any holiday that has to do with food is a good holiday for me.
For sure.
Yes. I to be honest with you, I've never made pierogies. Maybe that could be a good goal for people to try and do that. I know that I'm trying to read through. I know it's a Polish dumpling, but
Mhm.
I think there's so many different things that can go into that. So if you know how to make pierogies, if you could throw that in the comments and let us know, we might be reaching out to you to celebrate this holiday. But then this holiday really, really kicked it because for me, when I go through this list, usually there's like 10 holidays. They're all really ridiculous. Some of them are very serious. This day only has two things. There's only two celebrations that you can choose to have today. National or World Pierogi Day, which seems like a wonderful opportunity for dinner tonight. And then this one. It is World Fluffernutter Day.
World Fluffernutter Day. Rae, could you be referring to the world famous marshmallow spread treat, Fluffernutter?
I am a Fluffernutter Day. Yes, it is what is it? Marshmallow. This says Fluffernutter Day is October 8th when we fondly pay homage to the childhood sandwich of peanut butter and marshmallow fluff squished together between two slices of bread. Fluffernutter holds a special place in our childhood memories as many of us celebrated this day more often than not as a
Mm.
child. Who knew?
I have never had a Fluffernutter sandwich, but I do know the product Fluff. Rae, have you had Fluffernutter before?
Okay, I won't lie to you. I'm so glad you said that. I have never had a Fluffernutter sandwich, but I do know like marshmallow fluff. I
Mhm.
knew was like a thing. Obviously, I know peanut butter is a thing. I didn't realize actually until I started reading this that Fluffernutter only was when you put them together. I foolishly thought Fluffernutter Day was only the marshmallow, but I guess that's only just the fluff part of the Fluffernutter.
Rae, does it mention anything about like there are historical reenactments for all kinds of special occasions? Does it mention anything about the reenactment of the invention of the Fluffernutter?
Okay, it totally does. And that's why I love this website because it doesn't just go through like this website. I'm telling you, if you're an educator, you need to bookmark this nationaltoday.com because it not only goes through the history of Fluffernutter Day, but where Fluffernutter came from and suggestions on how to celebrate. I just, what?
That's a deep dive into some marshmallow spread.
National Fluffernutter Day activities. There's one, two, three of them of suggested activities on how to celebrate for the day. It goes through F and Qs about common questions about
Mhm.
Fluffernutter Day. It goes through historical events. The first of which was May 14th of 1920 was actually when the fluff recipe was created. I mean, holy moly, Brad, there are things that we need to go and learn.
I imagine, Rae, that sometime shortly after that, there was maybe a gentleman taking a jar of peanut butter for a walk, and then maybe there was a lady taking her jar of fluffernutter for a walk, and they bumped into each other, and the one said, "Your fluffernutter's in my peanut butter," and the other says, "Your peanut butter's in my fluffernutter," and then magically a loaf of bread appeared, and I'm not sure they were able to put together these things, and yeah, I think an historical reenactment of that actual moment, I think, would be something that our Teach Better team would be able to pull off and celebrate.
Okay, one of my favorite lessons that I love doing as a writing teacher. It wasn't one of my favorite things to do as a writing teacher, but I really stink at writing, but I love teaching writing. It was so creative, so fun.
Yeah.
Have you ever done the activity, Brad, where you have the students work with descriptive details? So you have
Mhm.
them tell you how to make a sandwich. And so you have to like open the bread and unscrew the cap. And essentially you end up as the teacher modeling all these disgusting ways to make a sandwich. And you end up with stuff all over you because they don't give you those activities. That's what I envision when I think Fluffernutter. I just think of it like all over stickiness.
Exactly. And that procedural writing you're describing is a really cool introduction to technical writing for kids and giving them the power and the capacity to explain how the world works to others through writing. The other thing it reminds me of is maybe an opportunity to ask your kids about strange combinations that others might think are gross, but
Ooh.
that you think are delicious. Like, maybe peanut butter and marshmallow spread isn't everyone's cup of tea, but maybe there's the unexpected combination that kids might love and want to share out. I'm not sure about how you feel about peanut butter and lettuce. That was a family favorite sandwich when I was growing up. Yeah, peanut butter and lettuce. So you got the crispy, crunchy lettuce, and you've got the creamy, salty peanut butter, and it's a pretty good combo.
Oh my God, no way. That's
Yeah,
not a thing.
it's
See,
a thing.
that's okay. So sandwiches and combinations really come down to, I feel like, what our parents exposed us to in so many regards.
Yeah.
I have had, and I'm tempted. I don't think that she's watching right now, but there is an ambassador, a
Mhm.
Teach Better Team ambassador that I have frequent in this conversation with because she loves pickles and peanut butter
Mhm.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, y'all. I don't understand these combinations. Like when you talk about marshmallow and peanut butter, I can get on board. They're both very delicious and they're like similar textures. When you start adding vegetables to the sandwich, I get confused. I don't know, Brad. Is there any other combos? Like any combos for those of you listening, like
Mhm.
ridiculous sandwich combos. I don't know that I was a big sandwich eater as a child. Maybe I just missed out of these opportunities.
I noticed peanut butter is a common ingredient in all of these combos. We've got peanut butter and bread and butter pickles,
Yeah.
PB and potato chips from Nikki there. It's incredible. It could be peanut butter plus, fill in the blank.
Seriously, peanut butter is a good staple, and it's a healthy choice, so is that why? It's also very potent in its flavor, so I guess, you get to pair it with something and it really makes a big impact. We just had a huge uptick in our viewers right now. Is this because we're talking about disgusting sandwich combinations? Like, everybody was like, "Oh, daily drop-in, I'm gonna go slow this morning. Oh, wait, my spidey senses are tingling. We're talking about something gross on daily drop-in. Let's go over there."
Right. It's connective. It's absolutely connective. It's the the things that make us unique and distinct, and the as you said, what we may have been exposed to in spite of ourselves as children. Uh, it's highly connective. We've got Julie saying cream cheese and salami together. Chicken salad and grapes. Patricia, we have a fantastic chicken salad recipe that includes grapes, and
I
putting it
agree.
on fresh bread is absolutely awesome. A little bit of rosemary in there. If you don't have rosemary in your chicken and grape salad, give that a try. It's really good.
Yes, there are some really good combos here. I will say this one, Patricia, I just want you to make sure that you hear this, change your day. I promise you, this is a normal combination. We
Yeah.
we support this combo. Whereas like Nikki's suggestion in the comments, we're gonna call her and check on her later. We don't know that those combos are good. I love,
I have a care package of peanut butter and bread and butter pickles on its way to Nikki right now.
yeah, exactly. Andrea's calling out my mom. This is my mom commenting bright and early this morning. Um, she's saying, please say Fluffernutter 3 times fast. Brad, I feel like you could do that. You are very skilled. Are you ready?
Fluffernutter, fluffernutter, fluffernutter. No, it's hard. That's really hard.
But you are so eloquent in the way that you speak. How could you now? I mean, come on, you could do this. It's a mental game, and it's also like a tongue twister, right?
Yeah, and I'm really afraid, Ray. I'm just gonna put that. I'm really afraid that my tongue's gonna twist into something that's gonna come out of my mouth on live video that really isn't very savory for
But
for our morning viewers. So
oh,
fluffernutter, fluffernutter, fluffernutter. That's
oh, that
there we
was
go.
so wonderful. Nice work.
Thank you
I'm
so
so
much. Thank you.
impressed. Wow. Mom, thanks for waking up bright and early with our Teach Better family. I hope that you're, having a wonderful day, but also I hope to see you in like, what is it, like 6 hours. So if you haven't packed your clothes yet, go do that because we're going on vacay together. Andrea, Brad is very proud of you. We have totally gotten off track. I'm so sorry, friends. But yes, we all need to celebrate, World Fluffernutter Day because this is an opportunity for us to talk about sandwiches and all things good. And my suggestion would always be to add more marshmallows to your life. And today
Mhm.
is a wonderful opportunity for that. Please, Brad, tell me that the good news story has to do with marshmallows. Please tell me.
Well, it doesn't. I'm sorry. Actually, but what?
Can we weave it in?
As a bit of as a, to kind of soothe your disappointment, I've got something I'd like to try today with you, and I'd like to give you and anyone tuning in an opportunity to choose your news,
Ooh.
choose your good news. And so I'm going to give you two topics, and then if whatever one hits home with you, Ray, or with our audience, we'll go. So the first one is something from nothing,
Oh.
something from nothing. And the other option is the nose that knows. The
Ooh, okay, so
nose that
they're putting
knows.
Put your thoughts in the comments. Can you repeat them again?
Of
And
course.
they can either give us option 1
Yep.
or option 2. If you want to type something quick, you can just do like the
Great.
number 1 or the number
So
2.
option 1, something from nothing. Option 2, the nose that knows.
The nose that knows. Ooh, okay. We got people voting. Some of them are writing the whole word, like the whole sentence out, the whole phrase. I'm impressed. At 7:40 or at 7:24 Eastern, people are participating. This is good. They're listening well. I'm seeing a lot of votes for the first one, but I'm a little disappointed that we won't hear the second. So will you save the second and bring it back at some point?
100%.
Okay. So it sounds like we're going with number 1 according to these votes. We are. Oh my gosh, everyone! We actually haven't gotten a vote for option 2. Everybody wants to know option 1.
So Rae, I'm excited to share out to our family members that a mathematician has just made a musical album entirely composed of black hole wavelengths. So truly something from nothing. Black hole wavelengths creating an album of music.
Unreal. I don't even know that I know what that means.
I'm not sure either. I mean, if we dive into the article from Good News Network, Belgian mathematicians created an electronic music album derived from data gathered from black holes. So this artist has translated data from simulations of black hole mergers, gravitational waves, neutron stars, elementary particle behavior near black holes, and white dwarfs into sound. And so Valerie Vermeulen, the mathematician musician, even got himself signed to a record deal with Ash International to publish this album of black hole sounds. This, I'm just going to check. Reviews are coming in. Album is out of this world, says one reviewer. A star is born, says someone else. And make space for this album on your shelf is another review there. So something from nothing, Rae. It kind of reminds me of our discussion earlier about music from trees. It just the mysteries of the universe are out there and people are capturing them and sharing them out. Something from nothing.
I love this. And Brad, you do like to bring up good news that has to do with music between the trees. And we talked about ABBA for a while. I mean, there's a lot of options here, but this is really something that you could bring into your classroom, bring into your community to discuss, because you can not only talk about space, you could talk about music, but one of the coolest things I think that we haven't really touched on is the opportunity to collect data and put it in a format that is maybe numerical or something along those lines, and then interpret it in a very specific way, which researchers do constantly. But in the classroom, I don't know that I commonly get to have that type of discussion. That would be phenomenal for a high school course.
I think so too. And it comes back to being connective, helping people understand some of the mysteries of our world and our universe in ways that make sense to us or that connect with us. I think almost all of us are connected through music in some way, and so I can kind of imagine, maybe a course instructor or a teacher having this music playing softly as a class enters the classroom, and then posing the question, "What do you think this could be?" And then when it's kind of revealed, there's that gift of surprise that this is sound coming from black hole waves, and then. I mean, if you're diving into the mechanics of black holes or just the mystery of them or the awesome power of them, or, it's about kind of considering what gifts are there in the world that are around us that are just hidden. And so unveiling those gifts to us and to our ears could be just a really great gift of surprise for any educator.
Oh, Brad, this was I'm so glad that you came into this. I don't know how we're going to tie it into the marshmallow idea, but I am such a fan, and I love that you were able to provide us with an example of a lesson plan that can be so rich with discussion. That's the whole point of these good news segments, wanting to bring some positivity, some laughter, of course, but also really thinking through how can this be a discussion to explore with your students or colleagues. So very, very cool, Brad. I am excited for all of us to turn on some music, not only throughout our day while we're teaching, but also at the end of our day to relax, reset from the long week. I think we should get into some suggestions to recap this incredible discussion we've been having all week long about setting boundaries, stepping away, and refueling ourselves. What do you think?
Looking forward to it. All
right, we'll be right back with Brainstorm Big. All right, friends, you know how this works. This is our intentional moment every single day, every single week to say, hey, do you need anything? So welcome to our brainstorming segment. Thank you to those of you who have been live with us for the daily drop-in for the last half an hour. There's been shenanigans, but you should have expected that because Brad Hughes is here. So this has been some good discussion. Brad, you kind of alluded at the beginning, and we're kind of there again about this space of having a stressful week, needing to reset our bodies not only multiple times a day, but multiple times a week, multiple times throughout the year. And that stress is really a potent element of the field that we work in right now. So where do you think we can begin this discussion?
I think just as we've been doing all week, Rae, it's just naming to ourselves and to others that it's tough right now. It's tough. I mean, just the layers and levels of community stress associated with the pandemic. Some of them are inconveniences, and some of them are really dire, uh, life-altering stresses, illness, access to healthcare, lots and lots of decisions and lots of ramifications. So I think it just begins with naming that this is a tough time. And I named to a number of our classes yesterday, this is a tough time for kids as well. You know, part of my morning announcements yesterday was just naming to everyone in the school community that it's tough right now. It's very stressful. And when that happens, often the good thinking that we might put between, our thoughts and what we choose to say and do, that goes directly, it gets interrupted. And so this is a time when we just have to be really practicing kindness, self-compassion as, sort of a foundational element of self-care. And if you're a school leader or an educator, encouraging members of your community to slow down, be kinder than necessary, give yourself permission to mess up, but then to restore. But above all, just practice kindness. We need that grace and we need that space when our stress levels are this high.
Brad, I'd love to spend some more time, if you're okay with it, diving into the concept of naming what you need. I think that is something that has been so relevant in my life. And I've continued to have conversations with educators around the simple idea that you may not know the solution to overcome whatever stress you're carrying. And you may not even know what you need to do to reset from the stress that you are currently experiencing. But the first step, being able to name the hurdle that's in front of you, being able to name what you think you might need to persevere through this challenge, actually has so much like healing elements in and of itself. Can you speak to that a little more?
Yeah, absolutely. Naming it is the first step to building a community that might be able to support each other or even solve a problem. And so putting it out there rather than wrestling with it internally, you realize quickly that others are wrestling or reckoning with the same challenges, the same difficulties. And then building community through just naming it and that sympathy and empathy that this is hard for all of us. For some of us, it's helpful to try to explore the why. And so we want to explore the why. We talked a little bit just a few minutes ago about community stress. We talked about the fact earlier that reckoning with a pandemic means that we are drawing on emergency reserves as human beings that are meant to be only short term. The challenge is that because the emergency continues and continues and continues, in addition to any other environmental or community emergencies that our listeners and viewers are experiencing, we don't get to turn that alarm system off. And that alarm system is designed for us to quickly seek safety. It's not designed to keep us on high alert for 18, 19, 20 months at all. And so why are you so tired? Well, it's because you're being called to do much more than humans are usually called to do. And so that's sometimes getting at the why is helpful. On the other hand, sometimes people want to get to, okay, what can we do about it? And it's just that permission to continue to do the next best thing, and it really is important to, as much as possible, stay in the moment, recognizing what is the next best step for me so that I can serve my family, my friends, my community, my students. But naming it is the start. So much can be cleared up, or so much solutioning can happen once you just name what we're reckoning with, and how can we support each other through it. And the last thing is that we're all seeking answers, we're all seeking the answer. The challenge is recognizing that there are many, many solutions that will eventually lead to a positive outcome for ourselves or for our communities. But
Mhm.
you just start. You have to start and recognize, okay, this is the best decision we can make in this circumstance. This feels like or appears to be, with the evidence in front of us, what I need to do for myself, and then work into it. Because waiting for the ultimate, the correct, the perfect solution, that there really is no such thing. There's just
Mhm.
iterations of different solutions and trying things out, but doing it as a community, staying connected.
It's interesting, Brad. I think that the opportunity we have to name a problem, name a hurdle in front of us is relatively unifying. I've
Mhm.
found that a number of different educators that I've been interacting with this week alone, we'll just talk about, like the past 5 days, there's a lot of educators that are kind of seeking affirmation that the stressors that they are experiencing, the overwhelm, the consuming, the negative consumption that they might be experiencing are just not alone, right? And I think that there's a kind of a beauty to taking an intentional moment and being like, friends, we are, as a Teach Better team, positive, solution seeking, dedicated educators. Like, we really believe in fostering a network of educators that are going to change the world. That doesn't negate the fact that we also can spend very intentional time being like, holy cow, this journey is like walking through molasses, and that's okay. And it's not that way because you specifically right this moment are doing something wrong. It's because we have been put in front of a very, very tall mountain that we are striving to climb, and it's not an easy one. And we appreciate that you are still persevering, but you don't need to do it alone. And knowing that you are not only not doing it alone, but have permission to rest and break and take care of yourself, that's important. It's an important part of the process.
That rest and that break, talking about restoration, we have to be intentional, and we have to be unapologetic about seeking opportunities, or taking them when they happen upon us, taking those opportunities to rest and to restore. It's all about energy management. The work that we do as family members and as community members and as educators depends on tremendous amount of energy, both physical energy and emotional energy. And I would add too, with the stresses of the pandemic, emotional management saps up a lot of energy. Just keeping yourself positive, doing what you can to keep yourself centered. That doesn't come from nowhere. That requires your brain and your body to expend a tremendous amount of energy just keeping things together. And
Sure.
so when you're restoring, that's your opportunity for your brain and body to restore, to reset, to recoup some energy, whether it's sleep or a good book, a cup of tea or a walk with a loved one or your dog, soaking up nature, listening to relaxing music, listening to affirmations, or like whatever works for you. It could be a phone call to mom. It could be anything that works for you, that gives you that reassurance and that comfort. I think that comfort is really scarce right now, because of the dire situation that we are in and our communities are in. But seeking whatever comfort we can is essential to restore. And many of us maybe have even slipped from simple fatigue to overwhelm, and we may be approaching or even be in a situation where we feel shut down. We feel that we can't access the personal resources to help us move forward. We actually may feel disconnected from others. And again, that doesn't reveal at all any kind of that doesn't diminish you as a person or as a professional at all. That's completely normal. But coming back to naming, Rae, naming that, wow, is anyone else finding this as hard as I am? Yeah, and here's why, and here's how we can help each other.
So important, Brad. There's been a lot of discussion this week that we'll recap here in a minute of all the different ways people have provided suggestions throughout the week on Daily Drop In on how to find intentional ways to reset and set boundaries. For you, you are a busy, busy, busy educator. Like, I just know that about you as a like friend to friend, but also colleague to
Yeah.
colleague. You do a lot of stuff. And it's funny when I say that, like, every educator does, and then you do some and then some. I don't know how you fit it all into a day. And is there a specific strategy that you use to ensure that you're not only giving your best to your staff, you're not only setting time to record podcasts. You're not only taking these moments to share your insight with the Teach Better team, but how do you then ensure that you also find time to relax, rejuvenate, and make those good choices to reset?
Listening to and learning from Lindsay Titus has really made a difference in my whole outlook. Just in terms of giving myself permission to be 100% me, however I show up in terms of energy and in terms of intention at any moment of the day. I used to put tremendous stress on myself, tremendous stress, because I always felt that I had to empty the inbox before I began the next day, and recognizing that the inbox is never empty. There's always something in the inbox, and so it's a matter of prioritizing, and also recognizing that even if you mess up, even if you should have prioritized something, and you can almost always work your way through whatever it is. If it's that important, someone's going to remind you, and you're like, okay, uh, you know, move forward that way. It's recognizing that that we can adapt, that we can, like when we're talking about deadlines or podcasts or everything that's on our to-do list, we can adapt. We can make sure that we are producing or contributing what we can in ways that make sense to our now, not necessarily ways that we did. Just I'll give you an example. Back in January, I launched the podcast, and I had the time and capacity to do it weekly. And so I got into a great cycle of creation. And then as other opportunities and not other must do's or two, but other opportunities came along, then I had to make a shift. And there was some tension because I had put out a weekly podcast, and there was some tension that I felt to keep that up, because consistency is key. And I think that translates to a lot of what we do. We go on history. We worry about making changes that might set a so-called precedent. I'm not a huge precedent person. I think that people understand that as leaders or colleagues, things are subject to change, and just because it's been done one way, it doesn't mean that it can't be adapted to meet the needs of the now. And so in many cases, Ray, staying busy is restorative for me, because I have the opportunity through a lot of the things that I do to stay connected with others, and to really bring personal ambitions and personal excitement to the fore. But I also really value those dinner times when it's just the family and myself. I enjoy conversations in our office or staff room with our colleagues. I enjoy walks in the neighborhood, and just recognizing that there doesn't have to be a should or must. It's just what is needed right now, and just making the best decision for yourself in the moment.
So important. I think we should do a goofy little challenge, Brad. Are you up for it really quick before we
Absolutely.
recap the week? Okay. You referenced needing to clean your inbox, and
Yep.
I very much had that mentality for many years, and then realized that, there is some grace in the way that we can find some space to not always do that, right? To say, I'm not going to be able to clear my inbox today, but at some point this week, I'm going to really take some intentional time and triage what needs to be handled right away, and then take some time to answer the rest. I want to do a little challenge. If you're listening right now on your phone or on your computer, I need you to get ready to comment. So click on the, whatever, post a comment, you know what I'm saying? Click on it, get ready to type. Here's what I need from you, Brad. And you might need to check your phone for this. I want to know how many unread emails you have in your inbox. Do you have your emails on your phone? Because I just want to say, I'm saying this because I think I'm going to be able to top you all. I have the most, I believe, unread emails. So I'm putting this to the test. I think I'm going to win the trophy for this. Brad, what is your unread email number? The little button.
Yep.
The red button. Okay, where are you at?
Yeah. So right now, on all my Gmail accounts, it's 3.
Did you say 3?
Yeah, 3.
Like the third number in the list of 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and that's not to say that I've actioned everything that I've read, but yeah, I've got 3 unread at this point in my day. Later in the day, I will absolutely have 18 to 30 unread emails, depending on what the school day brings. But right now at 7:44 a.m. Eastern, I've got 3 unread emails. So I feel pretty fortunate.
I want to clarify. We are talking work account emails, emails that you do need to go through. This isn't if you have a dummy account that you send all your junk mail to. that doesn't really work. We're talking like emails that you have to check that there's some sort of like action steps that will come from your emails. You're at 3. Wow. Patricia is asking if she can only share one account. You do whatever you want, Patricia. I was considering all the emails that I have to like keep track of in a professional sense. Brad, it sounds like you were too, right? I have like a personal email account where like, you know, my mother might email me on that account. Mom, just call me, don't email me. I have the Teach Better Team email account. I have the nonprofit email account that I manage.
Right.
I think that those are like my main 3. Like yours are, what did you say, Brad? You have like your work email. Do you have personal email that you use?
Yeah, and Teach Better. That's right.
And you Teach Better. Okay. So however, Andrea, we're not accepting your Andrea answer. Andrea put like 1.5 million. And I'm telling you, Andrea, there's no way that you need to actively go through all those 1.5 million emails. I have, and now I'm super embarrassed to say, Brad, you really only had 3 unread emails? Really?
Yeah, really.
Do you want to check again?
I'll check again.
Yeah, check one more time. Are you sure that's true?
I've got 2 more unread since talking with, so I got 5.
Okay. In the comments, we have someone saying 0. We have Sandra saying she has 3 as well. It must be a Canadian thing. And then my mother, Mom, thank you so much for tuning in. 0. I hate people that don't read their work emails. Oh my gosh. Okay, can I clarify? I'm so sorry in advance. And Mom, I want to just apologize that I'm embarrassing myself live on camera. I have 87. Guys, 87. You're making me feel terrible. I wish I had 3. You know what my goal's going to be? I'm going to get down to 3 by the end of the day. That's my goal.
And take it one email at a time, one important email at a time, one thought at a time, one task at a time. And if you don't get to the end, they'll still be there. And
I'm going to, this is my to-do list for the day. I want you all to know that I'm writing down, get to 3 emails in inbox. I got it. It's there. It's on my list. All right, Brad, we need to recap the week and tell my mom to go on to the rest of her day. So we'll be right back as we kind of like do our weekly recap, give you a challenge for the day, and then hopefully get you started on the best Friday that you've had in ages. So here we go.
See you soon.
Brad, it's been 2 weeks since we heard that commercial because it wasn't working last week.
Yep.
And it came on and it started jamming. And in my head every week, I'm like, I love this tune.
Right. Yep. Yep. It's restorative. You look forward to hearing it, and it just resonates. Like it's, you know, it just hits. It just hits right. And it means we can recap our great week together on Daily Drop-In.
I know. I forget how much I love that one. I only get to play it on Fridays when I'm with you. So this is so exciting. Recapping our week is always fun, guys. We just want to give you some insight in case you weren't able to catch all the good dialogue on Daily Drop-In this week. If you want to head back to an episode, we just want to give you some fun tidbits. Brad, were you able to catch every single moment, every single Daily Drop-In this week?
Just like your emails, Ray, no. I was able to recap because the Daily Drop-In feeds the Teach Better podcast as well. So if I can't catch it in the morning, I catch it on the way home from work.
Well, I appreciate that you're listening after the fact on Teach Better Talk podcast. All of you are welcome to do that as well. And it's always just a fun avenue depending on when you like to listen and how you like to listen. It's a super easy spot to go consume there as well. So I appreciate that, Brad. Always fun. I actually didn't host all week this week. Mm-hmm. Jeff Gargas stepped in on Wednesday, and that conversation was epic. So let's get into this. So obviously Monday, we started with Jeff and I. We had some really good conversation. We kind of got into the topic for the week. And the biggest takeaway, I think, was the acknowledgement of teacher guilt, that as we're talking about taking time away, finding balance, teacher guilt, you know, kind of comes to the surface for many of us. And so we did a kind of a deep dive in how that feeling can affect us and shouldn't affect us, and how you really identify what is causing that to really begin the process of having not have that be a focus. On Tuesday, we had a really great discussion with Eric Francis, who we've referenced many times on the show. He is an expert in questioning, and it was wonderful to be able to bring him in for kind of that discussion. On Wednesday, though, holy moly, Jeff Gargas was live with Lillian Ardell, who's a dear, dear friend of mine, and she talked about linguistics and its connection to our self-care. Did you catch that episode?
I did, and it really resonated with me, Rae, because we know as educators and as podcasters and broadcasters, language is everything. Like when we meet up today, we're creating a world. We're creating a start to the day for others with language, and so recognizing the power of language and when you talk about self-compassion, the power of self-talk, the power of the little voice in our head to help us or hinder us is crucial.
And she just hit the ground running. Like within the
Mhm.
first 2 seconds of that episode, she was calling out Jeff on the way he spoke, and it was just so funny. I think Dr. Lillian Ardell
Mhm.
is like too smart for her own good. She has so much knowledge that she was able to share just a sliver of it on the Daily Drop-In. I loved her analytical mind and the way that she was referencing beautiful research that she's had the opportunity to study. And then, guys, she's in the trenches. She's working with educators, and her focus was in English language learners. And I just found I went back to listen to that episode twice because there was so much like meat to get into that. I hope that you all chose to connect with her. That was a really good discussion that I listened to on my drive to work as Jeff facilitated Wednesday. Thursday, we had Chris Anderson, who is a very, very passionate instructional coach, former high school science teacher, and talk about a guy that's trying to bring real world application into the classroom. He did an incredible job, and his focus really focused on sleep. And Brad, I don't know, are you like a big sleeper? Do you get a lot of hours every night?
No, but I also have a rare talent to be able pretty much to sleep whenever and wherever. But my family, it's really comical for my family. I think napping is one of my superpowers, Rae. So I don't get a lot of I don't get a lot of hours overnight, but likely I've had maybe a cat nap or two before that.
But I love that, Brad. You know, he really focused on the fact that sleep can really rejuvenate somebody, and
Mhm.
taking the time to turn off the screens and get a good night's sleep is so important. I don't know if you caught the episode, but in the beginning of it, I actually told him that if the world was going to end unless I fell asleep within the next 30 seconds, that nobody should be worried because I can sleep anywhere too. So we have this in common, Brad. We can fall asleep instantaneously. I find it to be a superpower.
I I was really intrigued by his conversation about how our evolutionary lives as fish way back in the day relates to how blue light keeps us awake and keeps us alert to threats in the surroundings. So it's just incredible.
Yes, I do want to know. Andrew's asking a good question. I hope Sandra is still in the comments. Sandra, come back. Sandra, she's another Canadian Teach Better
Uh-huh.
family member. Andrea says that you, Brad, she's referencing you and Liv don't sleep ever. And so she's wondering if it's a Canadian thing. So Sandra, who I know was in here earlier in the comments, can tell us, is she a big sleeper? I don't know. That would be good to know.
Uh, Andrea, I'm not far enough north, and I'm certain Liv isn't either to sort of be in the land of the midnight sun. And so I can assure you that I do sleep, but I don't know about Liv. You're Liv out in the
Liv
on the West
never
Coast. No,
sleeps.
she appears to be always up and always on. So I'm not sure if she's sleeping at odd hours, but where she gets the energy and time to do what she does, I'm just really excited for her and really appreciative.
Yeah, no, it's so good. You know, Brad, I thought it would be fun if we kind of told everybody about next week before we go. So,
Yeah.
just to give everybody some insight, next week is obviously going to be an opportunity for us to continue Daily Drop In. We're live every single morning, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. We originally start our show streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And then obviously these episodes, after we are finished going live and having our ridiculous discussion, becomes an episode on Teach Better Talk podcast. Next week, our focus is the first steps towards mastery learning. It's a very, very intentional week where we
Mhm.
are getting into educational practices and pedagogy. I love that every week kind of ebbs and flows in its seriousness and the types of things that we can consume. And next week is going to be a big one. We are getting into tips and tricks on how you can facilitate a progressive classroom. And we're bringing in a ton of people to share their ideas on this topic. So obviously Monday morning starts with the one and only Jeff Gargas. I think it'll be interesting to talk about mastery learning with Jeff because he's a co-founder of the Teach Better team, and we do work in mastery learning. And we started, that was the only work we did as we got started when this company was founded in 2015. So he, as somebody who came into this education space with Chad Ostrowski to begin the Teach Better team, it'll be interesting to hear his perspective on mastery learning and how that really has evolved his understanding of progressive classrooms. On Tuesday, we have the one and only Andrea joining us from the Teach Better team. She's been very active in the comments today. We love all things Andrea all the time, and anytime we can get her on camera, Brad. Isn't she just like phenomenal educator on camera, right?
Phenomenal. I mean, just the warmth just draws you in and keeps you engaged. Andrea is as sincere and dedicated and as loving as they come. She's an awesome guest.
I love it. And she has a background in middle level reading and writing. So her background in using mastery learning is going to be so cool, obviously. And then her work with the Teach Better team. She literally does professional development all across the country with us. She's so, so wonderful. We then will have Paul France joining us. And I'm going to tell you in advance, I'm going to be geeking out. This guy is a Chicago educator, and he focuses primarily on personalized learning. So it'd be cool to kind of discuss the differences between mastery learning and personalized learning. But I reached out to him to join Daily Drop-In thinking he'd say no. And then he said yes. So I'm really excited about that.
Oh, fantastic.
It'll be so great. And then on Thursday, we have Megan joining us, Megan from the Teach Better team. She is experiencing her first year teaching in Nashville this year. She's a 7th grade math teacher. She does work with the Teach Better family. And so obviously those of you that are ambassadors, you know that Megan runs our ambassador program with Andrea. So she's going to be so fun to be able to weave in that conversation. And then Brad, shocker, you and I closing out the week on Friday. So we're going to have some good Teach Better team love and instructional pedagogy discussions next week.
I'm really looking forward to hearing from each of those guests. And one of the things I just treasure about this opportunity with you, Rae, on Fridays is to recap the great work and the great learning and the great people that make it all happen. So I'm really looking forward to that.
So good. You know, Brad, you have been able to always make my day on Fridays. It's always so good to see you and chat with you. Thank you for joining us this morning. And I hope that you have a wonderful day ahead, you know, going into your elementary school building. I know you have an incredible administrative team that supports you, have outstanding staff. And I have a feeling this is going to be like the best Friday yet, October 8th, the best Friday ever.
I have a feeling too, Rae, and I can't think of a better start to my day than connecting with you and our Teach Better family and friends on Daily Drop-In, and it's all going to be rainbows from here.
All going to be rainbows from here. We hope you enjoy the rest of your day. For those of you who are tuning in to the Daily Drop-In show, thank you for starting your morning with us. We hope that you have a massive celebration for World Fluffernutter Day. That was a great discussion earlier. And if you need anything, please know Brad and I and the rest of the team are always here to help. So we hope that you just really soak in the opportunities ahead of you for this day, this incredible day to impact students. And then also please take some time, give yourself some grace and go relax this weekend. If you need a vacation spot, call me up. You can come hang out with me and the pups over at the lake this weekend. So let me know if you need anything. But Brad, cheers, friend. It was good to see you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. See you later.